Eric Adams' case is less than meets the eye, less all the king's men, more all the king's upgrades. Okay, so they're basically accusing this gentleman, who is the mayor of New York, of like serious corruption. They're talking about 5-count indictment, a federal 5-count indictment, okay, alleging public corruption, specifically with Turkey. Now, I'm Armenian. If you know anything about Armenians, you know we don't really rock with Turkey like that, okay? So the allegations here, the short version that I've heard is that the Turkish government was involved in paying these guys off in exchange for getting some stuff passed through that wasn't up to the best standards in terms of building a high rise, if you will. Okay. Mayor Adams at the same time, just a couple months ago, gave Diddy the keys to the city and called himself the bad boy of politics. That didn't age well. Okay. So this whole situation is really interesting. And it just goes to show, like, how long has this been going on? How long has this sort of stuff been happening? New York seems like it's always in some sort of controversy, right? So here are the details. The government is alleging that Turkish officials saw Adams as a rising star in the Democratic Party and started to groom him for influence. Oof. However, once beyond the details of the opponent rooms and flight upgrades, there may be less here than meets the eye in some of these charges. The campaign contribution violation raises serious problems for Adams and the alleged solicitation of unlawful foreign contribution, yet the counts must be read with caution. We have not seen the specific defense to the allegations of using straw men to funnel unlawful contributions and the alleged favors bestowed on contributors. Indictments are one-sided and highly slanted interpretations of the facts by prosecutors to secure conviction. So he's denying this whole thing. Obviously, anyone close to the Diddy situation is going to look sus, right? Maybe we'll get to some Diddy news in a little bit. For example, many of the gifts from Turkish sources were realized in the forms of upgrades on flights to business class or expensive hotel suites. It is not clear what Adams knew of the logistic for such travel or their inclusion into annual reports. Despite their public personas, many populist politicians tend to be a pampered class who expect to be feted in the best quarters as they speak as the voice of the people. Now, this is the New York Post writing this. If you guys know anything about the New York Post tends to lean pretty conservative. Eric Adams is, of course, a Democrat. So who knows? Who knows how much of this is true? But there does seem to be an indictment, and it does seem to be looking pretty bad for this man. That was captured most vividly by NYC Republican Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, who I'm not a fan of, at the Met Gala in designer dress reading Tax the Rich. It was a scene with a crushing irony. The dress itself was worth more than some people make in a year, and it was loaned to AOC despite being made specifically for her. She was wearing a $32,000 dress that said Tax the Rich. That's crazy, okay? It triggered an ethics investigation, allegations of ethical violations. Okay, in one night, AOC flaunted roughly half of the value of the alleged Adams gifts as she paraded as a social warrior among the social elite. So they're saying half the value. So it even seems like it wasn't even that much an upgrade. So again, who knows? The truly hilarious aspect was that it was the elite that was thrilled by the demonstration and subsidized the Adams allegations would constitute a fairly crude form of corruption. It's by today's standards. For the Biden family, it looks like small potatoes. Oh gosh, they're taking shots at a Biden, of course, right? Adams lacked a hunter and the type of labyrinth of accounts maintained by the Bidens to funnel millions from foreign sources. Yikes! Shots fired. Shots fired at the Bidens, which I'm not disagreeing with. It's just interesting that they're saying, like, all things considering, these allegations aren't even that bad. One of the most discussed allegations concerns a high-rise building built by Turkish friends in Manhattan to serve as their new consulate. The Turks wanted the building opened before the arrival of the Turkish president in 2021. I don't know about you guys, but I'm exhausted from the culture war. And that's why we are running the first ever Bless God Summit to equip, empower, and inspire people to be the solution to the culture war, to be the hands and feet of Jesus on this side of eternity. And at the first ever Bless God Summit, we are going to be talking about what it means to live a better story and build better culture. And hearing from speakers such as my man Alan Parr and his wife Jen Parr from the Beat YouTube channel, my man John McCrae from What Do You Mean, Dr. Sean McDowell, and Preston Perry. And this will all be happening in Carlsbad, California, March 27th, 28th, and 29th at the beautiful Westin Resort and Spa. To get more information, including the full lineup of speakers and access to tickets, go to blessgodsummit.com now. Okay, now that guy's a complete lunatic. And apparently, Adams helped facilitate that, or that is what is being alleged in these documents. That is the main thing. So, this stuff is not... it doesn't surprise me that this stuff is going on. I feel like isn't this kind of how the government works? Like there's back deals and this sort of stuff. So this is the entire indictment they put out. And of course, Mayor Adams is denying all this. Now, I don't know Mayor Adams. I have zero understanding of how this world works for him. But these are some serious things that are being alleged here. And hopefully they're not true. But it wouldn't shock me one bit if they were true. Like this, again, to my understanding, this is the sort of stuff that happens with powerful politicians. So I'm curious how this is going to play out. Do you guys think that he's going to get convicted? Now, Mayor Adams is saying this is all false. There's no truth to it. But the FBI has been over to search his home multiple times, collecting phones, collecting all kinds of stuff. And then the deeper question is, does Mayor Adams know more than is being led on? Okay. Now, if you guys didn't know, the interesting part is that Mayor Adams is actually friends with the bling bling bishop. Okay. Bishop Whitehead. So this is them playing. And the interesting part is them golfing. This gentleman. Now, the interesting part about this is when this gentleman was getting convicted, he said that there was a witch hunt for him because they wanted to get Mayor Adams, and was saying that the reason he got charged was because they really wanted Mayor Adams. And so they started taking out people that were close to Mayor Adams and even offered him the opportunity to tell on Mayor Adams. So, is there something deeper behind the scenes? Okay, I don't know. But I do know that the overlap here is very interesting. That this guy was charged with something, convicted of something, said that this wasn't real, and now there seems to be text between Mayor Adams and Bishop Lamar Whitehead. He said that specifically that they wanted they wanted Eric Adams, and so they went after him. I don't know, but it's all very interesting news, publicly reported. And it reminds me of what, Nostradamus of our era, Cat Williams, predicted, which was 2024 was going to be a year of exposure. And goodness gracious, how many people are being exposed and coming out? Now, he is presumed innocent until proven guilty, so we don't know how it's going to proceed. Maybe it is a witch trial. Maybe it is persecution of a prosecution until something is proven. But what's done in the dark will come to the light, and I think that's true. So we shall see how it will play out. But yeah, anyway, I found all those connections very interesting. The Bling Bling Bishop, Whitehead, Mayor Adams, him being convicted, being charged with all this stuff. This was kind of predicted by the bishop. I don't know what to make of it. And this is the same bishop who allegedly baptized Tekashi, well, not baptized, but allegedly Tekashi 6ix9ine came to faith at his church. So what do you do with that? I don't know. All right. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about this in the comment section? All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here in beautiful Carlsbad, California. That's the beach right behind me. And some of you guys have been asking about the first ever Bless God Summit. Well, I am ecstatic to announce to you that we have confirmed the venue here at the Carlsbad Westin Spa and Resort, just a few miles from the beach, right next to Legoland. This place is phenomenal. I've been on staycation here with my family, and I can't wait to show you how awesome this resort truly is. All right, so I'm here on the lawn right outside of the ballroom where the Bless God Summit will be happening here. We'll be getting to hang out, have opportunities to mingle, build with some of the speakers. And this is not just a destination conference. This will be the solution to the culture war. As we're coming out of a tumultuous 2024, our hope is to empower, inspire, and equip you to live a life that blesses God by living a better story and building better culture. So we're not just gonna be sitting down for 8 hours a day and having speakers pour into you. That will be some of it, but this will be an interactive, creative approach to make sure that the information and the transformation hits you in a way that has an impact and empowers you to be the light and the salt that Jesus talks about in Matthew chapter 25. While we're more divided than ever before, while nihilism and despair is spreading everywhere, we want to make sure that we come together and give you guys an opportunity to grow in hope, to grow in faith, grow in vision by our incredible lineup of speakers. We have Dr. Sean McDowell, who's going to be speaking. We have my man Alan Parr and his wife, Jen Parr. We also have Lila Rose from Live Action, as well as my man Trizzle Fitness, giving you the practical implications of what it means to honor God with your body. And of course, my man Preston Perry. In addition to those speakers, we have Ryan Horton confirmed to lead worship. We have a special performance by America's Got Talent winner, Dustin Tiavella. And we have a whole additional lineup of speakers and performers that we're in the process of confirming right now. So the event's gonna be here in the Grand Pacific Ballroom, but if you have kids and you're like, they're gonna make noise, feel free to hop right on over to our family overflow room. Now, some of you guys may not be familiar with Carlsbad, California, but for a little bit of context, we're about 40 minutes from the San Diego airport, about an hour from the Orange County airport, and about an hour and a half from the LAX airport. We're about 1.5 miles from the beach, and you hear that noise behind me? Well, that is Legoland. And this property has its own entrance right onto Legoland. So this would be a great opportunity for those of you guys that have families to come out, plan a vacation around this, take the kids to Legoland, and enjoy the beautiful weather, Carlsbad, California. And if you're single looking to mingle, we have a special event planned just for you. Now, in terms of lodging, one of the coolest things is you can stay right here on site at the Westin. We have a limited amount of rooms blocked off just for you guys at a slightly discounted rate. And there's also other hotel and Airbnb options in the area. So go to blessgodsummit.com, happening March 27th, 28th, 29th. We have a limited number of VIP tickets that are gonna be packed with all kinds of perks, additional things you can get into. But if you just wanna get a general admission, go there as well. Bring your family, come hang out with us, and be the answer to all the craziness that's happening in the world today.